The Colorado Supreme Court's decision to disqualify former President Donald Trump from the state's 2024 primary ballot could signal the beginning of the end of the stability of the United States democratic system. If this action is allowed to stand, there will be legions of American citizens who simply will not accept any election result. This could lead to chaos and a fracturing of the U.S. as a country. So what do I mean by this? Well, first, there will be an erosion, or let's just be honest, a collapse of trust in our political institutions. The disqualification of a major political figure like Trump, based on the insurrection clause of the U.S. Constitution by political activists disguised as Colorado Supreme Court justices, will certainly lead to a collapse of whatever trust in political institutions that his legion of supporters had. Not only will it lead to increased political polarization, tribalism, and mistrust, but it will also lead us down a dark path where American citizens by the millions will reject the system as a whole, leading to the fracturing of the democratic process as it undermines the very core of our society, the legitimacy of electoral processes and the institutions that uphold them. You see, if a significant portion of the electorate perceives Trump's disqualification as unjust, or worse, treasonous, especially considering the partisan nature of this attack on democracy by the Colorado Supreme Court, it will exacerbate political polarization. This polarization could manifest in increased public unrest, protests, and potentially violent confrontations, as we've seen in other democracies where losing parties have rejected the election results. The disqualification of Donald Trump could also be seen as a catalyst for civil conflict. Historically, the quality of elections and the acceptance of their outcomes are crucial for preventing civil strife. If Trump's disqualification is perceived as a manipulation of the electoral process, and believe me, it will be, it could lead to a situation where his supporters feel so disenfranchised and unwilling to accept the legitimacy of the election that you risk mass civil unrest and conflict, something that we have not seen since the Civil War. Now, the Colorado Supreme Court's decision is setting a legal precedent that may lead to similar challenges in other states. If these challenges lead to a patchwork of different ballot access rules across the country, the uniformity and predictability of presidential elections will be undermined. There's just no arguing this. Because of this, I believe that the Supreme Court should step in and put an end to this. Otherwise, not allowing the democratic process to play out has no happy ending for this country. The very foundation of our society is at stake. You see, it won't just impact this election, but all future ones. The decision that these activist judges have made will have a chilling effect on all future elections. If candidates can be disqualified based on their alleged involvement in events like the J6 incident, it will lead to increased scrutiny and politicization of candidate eligibility. The Colorado Supreme Court's decision to remove Trump from the ballot has this country's very future on the edge of a knife. The peaceful coexistence of battling ideological beliefs has been the bedrock of the United States and is critical for the security of the future of this country as a whole. The erosion of trust in political institutions, increased political polarization, and potential for civil conflict, and the legal and constitutional challenges that are arising from this decision could all contribute to a fracturing of the United States going forward. What comes next will depend on the legal process that follows here. If the U.S. Supreme Court allows this attack on democracy to stand, then God help this country. Now, naturally, I'll be keeping an eye on the situation going forward, and rest assured, we'll be discussing events as they transpire. And that, my friends, will bring this episode to a close once more. As always, thank you so much for joining me on the program today. From the Topical Umbrella, I am Adrian, and I will see you all next time.